Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really uh, disruptive idea that reality, the everyday life we live is actually fundamentally broken.
Yeah, and not in some like deep philosophical way. We mean broken in a really practical sense. Like
Yeah.
our jobs, our communities, they just aren't giving us what we fundamentally need, are they?
Needs like challenge, purpose, real connection.
Exactly. And the sources we're looking at today argue that computer and video games, they're incredibly good at meeting those exact needs. So good, in fact, we're seeing this huge, well, a mass exodus from
Yeah.
real life into these virtual worlds.
The scale is just wild. I mean, the numbers, over 183 million active gamers just in the US.
Right. But get this, 5 million Americans are what they call extreme gamers,
Okay.
playing, on average, 45 hours
Okay.
every single week.
45 hours, that's like another full-time job.
Pretty much a job just dedicated to, generating effort and emotion in a virtual space, voluntarily.
Which brings us right to the core question, doesn't it? Why? Why are games, as the source says, teaching and inspiring and engaging us in ways that reality is not?
Well, to figure that out, we need to kind of strip away all the flashy stuff,
Hmm.
the graphics, the stories.
All the bells and whistles.
Yeah, and look at the basic building blocks, the fundamental architecture that every game shares, whether it's chess or some massive online world.
Okay, let's unpack that. What are these universal bits? What truly defines a game?
It really boils down to just 4 key things. First, every game needs a goal.
A goal, right? Something specific you're aiming for. Gives you purpose.
Exactly, a clear sense of purpose. Second, and this might sound a bit weird, you need rules.
Rules, like limitations.
Precisely. Rules and limitations, but they're what make you creative. They force you to think strategically.
Hmm.
If everything was possible, well, achieving the goal wouldn't feel like anything, would it?
Huh. So even simple stuff like stay on the path or only move pawns forward, that's actually key to the fun because without rules, it's just chaos.
You got it. The struggle, the challenge within limits, that's where the pleasure comes from. Then number 3, and this is crucial for keeping you going, a feedback system.
Okay, so telling you how you're doing.
Constantly. Points, levels, progress bars, visual changes. Something that tells you, hey, you're getting closer, or nice job. You always know if your effort is actually paying off.
Right, you're not just shouting into the void.
Never. And the final piece, the thing that makes all that effort feel good, voluntary participation.
Meaning you have to choose to play.
Absolutely. You have to be free to walk away anytime. That feeling of control, of choosing the struggle, is what makes even really hard work feel safe, maybe even fun.
So it's that structure, goal, rules, feedback, voluntary participation that creates these powerful emotional payoffs we're going to talk about.
Exactly. It basically turns hard work into something we choose to do. And researchers say that actually primes our brains for happiness.
And it triggers some really specific positive feelings. The first big one is flow, right?
Flow. Yeah, that's that feeling of being totally absorbed, working right at the very edge of your abilities.
Like, it's hard, but not too hard.
Right. Just hard enough that it demands all your focus. And when you're really in flow, you don't even want to win or quit. You just want to stay in that zone, perfectly balanced between skill and challenge.
I think we can all recognize that feeling, yeah. Whether it's playing an instrument or even like getting lost in a complex project at work sometimes.
Definitely. But then there's that other feeling, the big rush you get when you finally nail it, when you overcome that really tough challenge.
Ah, yes, the fist pump moment.
That's Fiero, the sheer high of triumph. It's intense. People shout. They might jump up. It's a peak emotional and physical state.
And the science behind it is fascinating. You mentioned brain scans.
Yeah, researchers looked at gamers' brains with MRIs right at those moments of Fiero, those breakthroughs. And they saw this incredible spike in activity in the brain's addiction and reward circuits.
Whoa. So the same pathways involved in addiction are firing up when we achieve something difficult.
That's the idea. It suggests we're not really addicted to the game itself, maybe, but we're fundamentally wired to chase that feeling of Fiero, that payoff for meaningful effort.
That's powerful. It kind of reframes addiction, doesn't it? It's a hunt for earned triumph.
It does. And it leads us right into how games can help fix work. If we understand what triggers Fiero, maybe we can build that into, our real-world tasks, achieve what the sources call blissful productivity.
Okay, blissful productivity. So how do we get that? The source material says it boils down to something pretty simple, right?
Super simple, actually. You just need 2 things: clear goals and clear, actionable next steps to reach them.
Which, let's be honest, real life often makes incredibly muddy.
Exactly. And that's where games like, say, World of Warcraft just nail it. Think about a standard quest in WoW W.
Okay.
It doesn't just vaguely say, go help out. No, it's like, collect 6 Swamprat teeth. Crystal clear goal. It tells you why it matters. Maybe the teeth are regents for a potion. And it usually points you right to where the Swamprats are.
So you know exactly what to do, why, and where, and you get that satisfying little counter. 1 of 6, 2 of 6.
Tangible proof of progress. And the feedback isn't just numbers. You mentioned this cool visual thing earlier, phasing.
Right, the phasing effect. Explain that.
Okay, so in WoW W, if you complete a really major quest, something heroic that changes the situation in that area, the world literally changes just for you or for players who've done the same thing.
So, like, if you cleared out a dangerous enemy camp.
You go back and poof, the camp's gone.
Huh.
Maybe friendly NPCs have set up shop there instead. The threat you dealt with is visibly, permanently removed from your version of the world.
Wow, you see the impact of your work immediately. Compare that to, I don't know, working months on a report that just vanishes into some corporate folder.
Exactly. That visibility, that concrete feedback is incredibly motivating, makes the work feel real.
And this idea of feedback links to the next fix, which is about failure, isn't it? Finding a better hope of success, or urgent optimism.
Urgent optimism, yeah. Because in a really well-designed game, failure isn't this crushing blow. It's actually kind of exciting. It makes you want to try again immediately.
Like Tetris. I mean, Tetris is basically designed for you to fail eventually. The blocks just keep coming faster.
Guaranteed failure. And yet, it's one of the most addictive, most beloved single-player games ever. Why? Because when you lose, the overwhelming urge isn't to throw the controller. It's to hit start again, to get back to that edge, that limit of your skill.
You want to beat your own score, push a little further.
And how the game handles failure matters too. Think about Rock Band.
Oh, yeah. What happens when you mess up too much?
It's great. The song doesn't just stop abruptly. No, it like audibly falls apart. The music gets dissonant. Your bandmates might glare at you. The crowd starts booing. Yeah.
And your little avatar character looks all dejected, maybe shakes their fist.
Right. It makes the failure kind of funny, almost theatrical, rather than purely frustrating. It tells you exactly what went wrong. You miss the notes, but in a way that encourages you to try again and nail it next time.
So it builds resilience, emotional stamina. You learn that failure is just data, not a verdict.
Precisely. Urgent optimism. Okay, I failed. What did I learn? Let's go again.
Okay, so games fix motivation, how we see work, how we handle failure. What about the social side? That's another big piece, right? Building stronger social connections.
Huge piece. And games do this in ways you might not expect. It's not always about playing with people directly in real time.
You mean like those turn-based games, words with friends, things like that?
Exactly. Asynchronous games, like playing Lectulus daily with a friend, or checking in on your virtual farm in Farmville next to your family members' farms.
Ah, so it becomes this low-stakes way to just keep in touch, maintain a connection day to day.
Yeah. Think about it. If you're traveling, maybe you keep an asynchronous game going with your partner back home. It's a little daily touch point, a shared activity, even if you're miles and time zones apart. It makes staying connected feel like, well, a game, purposeful.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about those giant online worlds, the MMOs like WoW? Is everyone just teaming up all the time?
Well, here's what's interesting. Research on WoW W players found that actually a big majority, something like 70%, prefer to do quests solo most of the time.
Really? 70%? So why play in a massive multiplayer game then?
Because they still enjoy what the researchers called ambient sociability. Just being around other people, even if you're not directly interacting.
Like being in a busy coffee shop to work, you feel part of something, there's a buzz, potential for interaction, but no pressure.
Exactly that feeling. It's great for introverts especially. You get the sense of community without the obligation of constant interaction.
Okay, that's subtle but important. And there was another social aspect, Nach.
Notches, yeah. It's Yiddish, means kind of vicarious pride, joy in someone else's accomplishments.
And how does that play out in games?
Researchers saw players getting genuine enjoyment from teaching friends or family members how to play, mentoring them, giving them tips, watching them succeed, even if it meant slowing down their own progress in the game.
So helping others win feels good too. It strengthens the real-world bond.
Totally. It amplifies their own sense of mastery and connection.
Okay, this leads us to the really big picture stuff. The final emotional reward you mentioned, epic scale.
Right. This is about tapping into that fundamental human need to feel like we're part of something much bigger than ourselves, something meaningful on a grand scale. That feeling generates awe.
Awe, which some call the most satisfying positive emotion. How do games create that?
Often through these huge, sometimes completely arbitrary collective goals. Remember the Halo 3 community?
Vaguely, what was the big goal there?
They set this target of achieving 10 billion collective kills against the enemy AI in the game. 10 billion.
That number doesn't mean anything in the real world, obviously.
Not a thing. But
Oh.
tracking it, seeing the counter tick up globally, celebrating when they hit that milestone, it turned millions of individual players into participants in this massive shared cause. It created a sense of collective power and achievement.
A symbol of what they could do together.
Exactly. And this connects back to something deep in human history. The sources mention this fascinating theory about really ancient structures, like Göbekli Tepe.
Those huge stone circles in Turkey from like 12,000 years ago.
Yes. The theory is that the sheer coordinated effort needed for hunter-gatherers to build something on that massive, unprecedented scale, that collaborative work itself might have actually created the social structures needed for complex civilization.
Wow. So building something epic together wasn't just a result of society, it might have been the cause of it.
That's the idea. Games tap into that same ancient drive, that need for large-scale, meaningful collective effort, just like building monuments might have done for our ancestors.
Okay, so games provide this potent cocktail. Purpose, feedback, fun failure, social bonds, epic meaning. How do we actually use this blueprint to fix reality?
Well, the most direct way is through what are called alternate reality games, or ARGs. These are games specifically designed not to escape life, but to get more out of real life.
Making reality itself more game-like. Give us an example.
A simple one is something like Chore Wars.
Chore Wars. Sounds promising.
Right. It basically turns household chores into quests in a fantasy game. You create an avatar, your family members are your party.
Okay.
And completing a chore, say cleaning the bathroom, earns you XP, maybe some virtual gold items for your avatar. Suddenly, scrubbing the toilet is worth 100 XP and contributes to leveling up.
Huh. So it reframes boring tasks as achievable challenges with rewards. Makes them trackable, maybe even, dare I say, fun?
That's the goal. It tackles drudgery head-on. But ARGs can also tackle really serious challenges, like Super Better.
Super Better. I've heard of that. It's for health challenges, right?
Yeah, it's designed to help people recover from injury, illness, or deal with things like anxiety and depression. It frames recovery as a superhero's journey.
How does that work?
It uses all those core game mechanics. You set clear goals, like walking for 5 minutes. You track progress. You identify bad guys' things that trigger negative feelings or symptoms. You find power-ups, small things that make you feel even a tiny bit better. You recruit allies, friends, and family.
So it breaks down this overwhelming process of recovery into small, manageable, game-like steps.
Exactly. It helps break that cycle where feeling bad makes recovery harder, which makes you feel worse. It gives you a sense of agency, a heroic narrative, when you might feel most powerless.
That's using play for something truly profound. Okay, so these are applications. But what's the bigger picture? What's the ultimate skill we gain from all those hours, or those 10,000 hours you mentioned?
Right, the 10,000 hours. That estimated by age 21, the average young person, especially in developed countries, has spent about 10,000 hours gaming.
Which is Malcolm Gladwell's famous number for achieving like world-class mastery in something.
Precisely. And the mastery gamers are achieving isn't just reflexes or strategy within the game. The argument is they're becoming masters of collaboration.
Collaboration on a massive scale.
That's the ultimate payoff. Fix #13, as McGonigal frames it. Spend 10,000 hours collaborating. And this develops what she calls real collaboration superpowers.
Okay, I love the sound of that. Collaboration superpowers. Let's break those down. What's the first one?
The first is having a high ping quotient, high PQ.
Ping quotient, like pinging someone online.
Kinda, yeah. It's the skill, almost an instinct, for reaching out electronically to the right people, quickly, effectively, to get them involved in a task or project, knowing who to ask and how to ask to get rapid cooperation.
So super efficient digital team building. Makes sense. What's next?
Next is collaboration radar.
Like a sixth sense for teamwork?
Pretty much. It's that intuition about who would be the best collaborator for a specific job, even if you've never worked with them before. Maybe you pick it up from their online profile, their past projects, subtle cues. It's about spotting the key players in a complex field.
Being able to see the potential connections and skills needed. Okay, and the last one sounds like the most intense. Emergensight.
Convergent sight.
Yeah.
This is the ability to thrive when things get messy. Really messy. complex, chaotic, collaborative environments with tons of information flying around.
Which sounds like most important projects these days.
Right. Emergent sight is about being able to filter out all that noise, stay focused on the truly important signals, see emerging patterns, and spot potential solutions or paths forward when everyone else just sees chaos. Possibility scanning, basically.
Wow. High PQ, collaboration radar, emergent sight. If games are cultivating these skills on such a massive scale, the potential application to real-world problems is huge.
It really is. If game structures can make chores fun and help people heal, imagine what these deeply ingrained collaboration skills could do for, say, climate change or poverty or scientific discovery.
Which brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to the idea of play structuring civilization itself. You mentioned that story from Herodotus about the ancient Lydians.
Yes, the Lydians,
Yeah.
facing this devastating famine that supposedly lasted 18 years.
18 years. How did they cope?
According to Herodotus, they invented dice games. And they made a rule.
Yeah.
One day, everyone would play games, intensely focusing on the games to distract from their hunger. The next day, they would eat sparingly and work.
So they alternated. Gaming day, eating working day.
Yeah, using the intense focus of play to manage their scarce resources, coordinate behavior, and basically endure the crisis together.
Using a game to survive.
And here's the amazing part. Herodotus also tells of the Lydians eventually emigrating, sailing away to found a new settlement. And modern archaeology and genetics actually lend support to this idea that a group from Anatolia, where Lydia was, migrated to Italy and became the Etruscans.
Whoa, so the story might actually be true. Their ability to use games for cooperation literally helped them survive and build a new civilization.
It's a compelling connection, which leads us to that final, really provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
If a simple dice game, 2,500 years ago, could potentially provide the cooperative framework needed for a civilization to survive an existential crisis and found a new future,
Yeah.
then what epic real-world crises could today's gamers, armed with 10,000 hours of practice and those collaboration superpowers like high PQ, collaboration radar, and immersion sight, what immense challenges could they solve if we purposefully applied those skills?
That's the big question, isn't it? What happens when we take play seriously as a force for real-world change? Something to definitely think about.